Thanksgiving! Gobble, gobble! From the wellness team, fitness department, we want to wish you a happy Thanksgiving. And in doing so, we're going to give you some healthy tips. Katie's going to talk about nutrition, Cindy's going to talk about gratitude, and I'll be giving you some exercises to do on Thanksgiving. Something fun. And we wish you well, and we miss you very much. So let's get started. Katie?
So I wanted to share with you guys a few tips to spare some extra calories this holiday season. And the first tip I want to tell you is to be choosy. Choose the foods that you love and just indulge in those this holiday season. And then second, I want you to keep 10 minutes in between your servings. So after you have your first serving of your Thanksgiving dinner, make sure you give yourself about 10 minutes to kind of let your stomach communicate with your brain to see if you're actually full or if you're still hungry. If you're still hungry, you can go back for seconds. And then third, we're all really familiar with keeping 6 feet apart from each other, but let's also keep that distance between us and our food. So when you have food out on the counter or out on the table, make sure you step back away from the food. When we stand next to it, we're more likely to indulge in the food and overeat. And then I also wanted to share with you guys some recipe alternatives to kind of make your recipes a little lighter or healthier. The first one, if your recipe calls for sour cream, you can replace that with plain Greek yogurt. If your recipe calls for eggs, you can replace that with applesauce or flax meal. And then if your recipe calls for sugar, you can actually replace that with natural honey or pure maple syrup. And then I also wanted to give you guys a little message. Food tends to be the center of our holiday season, but this year I want you to focus on what's really important, and that's your family, laughter, and of course, your health. So that's all.
Thank you, Katie. And I'm going to talk to you about fitness. So, if everybody has a kitchen sink, we're going to hold on to that sink and we're going to march in place. And I'm not going to do a whole routine because that's not what we're here for. Just a little exercise. Now think about lifting those knees up and maybe some side leg lifts. We want to stay fit and active so we can get together with our families when this is all over with. And then facing the sink, we'll do some back leg lifts. So remember, you can do this at the kitchen sink, maybe 2 times a day. And some squats down and up, keeping your legs strong, your lower body strong. And then, for your upper body, we have canned goods in our house. So we can do arm curls. Now canned goods, the can themselves are 1 pound. If you don't have a can, you have a bottle of water, also 1 pound. But you can do overhead press, side arm lifts. Want to keep your muscles toned. And then it also helps with arthritis to move every joint in your body at least once a day. And then in class, we also lift and pour, working our shoulder and our wrist. So get creative with your canned goods. Remember, a gallon of milk or a gallon of water weighs 8 pounds. So if this is not challenging enough, you can use a jug and put as much water in it as you want. And then stretching. So reach up high on the shelves and then reach down low. Just get creative. Pretend like you're making a whole meal for the whole family and get active. All right. So I want to wish you a happy Thanksgiving from our team to you and hope to see you soon. Cindy?
Hello friends! I'm glad to be here today, and today I wanted to share a little bit about gratitude. So 2020, to say the least, has been kind of a different year. And And we focused a lot on gratitude in the early stages, in the mid stages, all the way up to now. Sometimes it gets a little hard to find things to be thankful for. So as I was thinking about my own gratitude, I came up with some strategies that you can use, and it'll also employ your intellectual wellness. 3 things that I'd like for you to try. So, one thing you will need is a piece of paper and a pencil or a pen. You probably got that laying around somewhere. We won't use it yet, but you'll need it later. So the very first thing, I want you to think out of the box. And speaking of box, if you've ever taken a brain fitness class of mine, you may have done what's called a Guggenheim. It's actually a little like categories. So you can use any word you want, spelling out that word, and then come up with your own categories. I came up with 3 here: friends, adaptations, and food. The adaptations part was the best one for me because it made me think out of the box. It made me really, really reach in my pocket of knowledge and grasp anything I could get about the changes we've made since COVID. So again, you'll go through each of the letters. Let's say you have a friend named Teresa, you can put her name in there, a friend named Hank, a friend named Ann. So across the box, you can do that. Let's talk a little bit about adaptations. So I came up with telephone calls. For H, I came up with village helpers, right? They help people. For A, activities on JKTV. So just reach in that back pocket and pull out something that you know has helped you get through this experience and pull that gratitude forward with Guggenheims. That's the first thing. The second thing I'd like to talk to you about is organizing your gratitude with your senses. So I'd like for you to think about the 5 senses: sight, hearing, taste, touch, and smell, and think of 3 things in each of those categories that you're thankful for. Thirdly, I have a challenge for you. So perhaps you're watching this early in the morning, or perhaps you're catching it later in the day, or maybe even after it's been broadcast. But I'd like to challenge you to something about your environment. So let's say you're sitting in your living room watching me. I want you to take a moment and look around in your environment. And I want you to name 10 things that you're grateful for in that environment. You can find them. Then I want you to get up and go to the bathroom. Again, look around and find 10 more things. Go to another environment. Perhaps look out the window. 10 things. That's your prescription. Each hour or 3 times a day, try that prescription for your own gratitude. I bet you can find 10 things each time. I, myself, am very grateful that you are here with us in this community. I'm grateful that we can all be together, and I'm grateful that we're strong. I am also grateful we have our good team here. We have wonderful associates. We have wonderful people that we serve. Please take care of yourselves, and I wish you a very happy Thanksgiving.